Well, Dean, firstly, congratulations, good performance, and first away win of the season at a team, at a club that obviously have high ambitions themselves. Everything clicking after the international break.
Yeah, it always makes me smile when people say first away win when you've only played 3 games. Yeah. But it was a good win because, as you say, Brighton are a very good team, good players, been together for quite a while as well. And they've not even conceded a goal and scored 10 in their 3 games that they played there. So I said before it was a daunting task, but I said to the players I had full confidence in them, and I actually really fancied us. I just felt that we had a lot of energy. Our energy levels were high. They trained really well, and to be honest, the players played really well as well.
We talked about this before the start of the season. There's this sort of mad rush of games, then break, and then mad rush of games again, and thick and fast, and big games from Brighton to Villa, then a home match. I mean, this takes a bit of managing.
Yeah, it does, and that's where you have to utilise the squad as well, because I feel that we've got a good group of players, and not everybody will recover as quickly as everybody else. So it's ideal to have a fully fit squad. We've still got a couple out injured, obviously, with Alan Judge and Rico Henry, and a couple of other niggles. But the lads have been recovering really well, which is good. Training, the standard of training has been really good. And I think the players know that they've set their own standards now and they need to keep matching it.
Does it help that it's a Wednesday? Give it an extra day? Is that because it's a bit different, or does it not matter to you?
No, I mean, what it does, it gives us, a day over Aston Villa, I suppose. But you see that the squad they've assembled, I don't think that should matter too much, because they could change their team and it'd still be very strong. So, we have got that extra 24 hours, and it gave me the opportunity to go and watch them like yesterday. But it's a game that we're all looking forward to on the back of the performance on Saturday.
I know Robbie Di Matteo said that because of the changes that they've made, it'll take a little while to settle. New division, everyone getting used to each other. How long does something like that take to settle down in your experience?
Well, I mean, it will take a while for them. The supporters at Aston Villa's expectations are to get straight back to the Premier League. Yeah. But they had a terrible season last year by their standards, and got relegated, and they've had a big turnaround. And I'm not sure that confidence is fully back yet. I know there's been a big change around in players, but they've only won 1 game so far out their 6. So hopefully it's the right time for us to meet them. But they played very well yesterday against Nottingham Forest and deserved to win the game.
If you play at a club, and this has occurred, and I've spoken about this actually, not at Nottingham Forest, if you play at a club as a player which has got heritage, which is, maybe you have to walk past the European Cup into the changing room or whatever, do you have to be a certain type of player to cope with that sort of pressure? Villa Park's a massive ground. The history of the club at the highest level is very deep set. Do you need a certain mentality, do you think?
I think you probably do, and I remember reading an Alex Ferguson book, and he talked about the players. He looked at their mentality and whether they'd be able to go and play in front of 75,000, because that's what they have to do every other week. So I think it's the same. When you look at Aston Villa, they're a big club. Newcastle in the Championship.
And Sheffield Wednesday.
And Sheffield Wednesday, yeah. And you have to be of a certain mettle to go and play under that atmosphere and under them expectations. But you have to have great belief in your own ability as well.
You're a villain as a kid. I mean, is this a special game?
I was a straight and narrow as a kid. But no, it's a game that I'm really looking forward to. I'm not sure which way my brother will go at the moment. He follows Villa everywhere. So, but it's a game I'm looking forward to. My dad was a steward there for 30 years. It's a shame he won't be there because he's got dementia and he's in a home now. So it's a pity, but it's a game that the family will look forward to. Going back to Birmingham, and the reason I came and took the job, at Brentford was I wanted these games every week in, week out, to test myself and to try and get to the Premier League. And it's we know it's going to be tough, but I have great belief in the squad of players and the way this club goes about things that we can do it.
When you were a youngster, where did you stand or sit? On the whole end?
Yeah, used to clean the seats when we was there. My dad was the steward, so we used to have to go and clean the seats, and then he'd walk us round to the Old End and then meet us outside afterwards. So yeah, got some good memories of that. But I've also got great memories of being involved in professional football myself.
Yeah, when you move into professional football, I mean, obviously you have an affiliation with a club as a kid, but those sort of things get tempered a little bit because you're working in the game.
Yeah, they have to. Your concentration is then solely on your career, on what you're doing, and I've been the same. You've always got the affiliation, as you say, and look for their results, but the selfish side of it, you have to be professional about your job and what you're doing.
One more question in regards to Villa and your past with Villa. Who was your favourite player growing up? Who were your players that you gravitated to? Was it the fancy Dans or was it the rugged ones at the back?
No, I mean, I was quite fortunate when I was going to Villa at an early age. They won the League Cup in '77, then they won the league in '80-81 using only 14 players, yep. And then won the European Cup the year after, the Super Cup the year after that. So I was spoilt a little bit, but I suppose my favourite player was Gordon Cowans, who I believe has just left from a coaching capacity, but I've got to know him as well, which is really good, but top player.
Just in regards to Brentford, then, I mean, the season is still very early. We've had the international break. The pattern's not quite settled down, but a quick glance at the table would say from 4th down to 17th, there's only 5 points. I mean, it's been a very sort of uneven start, apart from Huddersfield, I suppose. No one really setting the marker so far. Has that surprised you, or is that what you expect?
No, I think it's what I expect. I think the league's so tight. There's so many big games week in, week out. I mean, you only look on the weekend. We were at Brighton. Derby were hosting Newcastle, and Villa against Nottingham Forest. So there's a lot of massive games, and everybody can beat everybody. Had friends who was at the Villa Huddersfield game, and Villa should have been out of sight in that game, and Huddersfield came back and got a draw. So they've done well to be sitting where they are at the moment, Huddersfield. But I believe anybody can beat anybody in this league.
And just finally, Rico Henry. I mean, I know, have we got a closer assessment of how long it will take?
No, not in terms of time frame. Everybody heals a bit differently. My experience of Rico is that he's a quick healer, because when he'd done it before, when he dislocated it, he didn't have an operation, and he was back playing quite soon after. So he's one who can withstand a lot of pain, and he's a tough little lad, and he'll be eager to get into the fold as soon as possible.